What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our Play Now Line series. We took a loss in the last game, and now we're back trying to win with our Tier 1 team, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder 2011-2012 one. And surprisingly for us, and fortunately for us, we're going up against a Tier 2 team, but unfortunately for my opponent, he has to go up against me. So it's going to be a pretty tough matchup for my opponent. But coming out the gates, we do not get off to a good start. But Russell Westbrook throws it down with one hand over Luka Doncic, and we finally get our first points of the game. So coming off of that last loss, every game from here on out is a win or go home. So we have to get on a 6-game win streak in the greatest of all time league, and let's see if we could pick up our first win with the Tier 1 team in this video. And I don't think it would be too hard considering we have a Tier 1 team going up against a Tier 2 team, and this has happened to me as well. But luckily for me, the game didn't even get started, or the game, my opponent played the game and then he left, and then he got kicked out of the game because of too many violations. So Serge Ibaka getting us off to a nice start, hitting his wide open 3-pointer, and that's what we need, because in the last video we were not able to hit any 3-pointers at all. But my opponent comes right back down, Tim Hardaway Jr., deep 3, and he is going to cut down on the lead, or in fact take the lead. So we're back on offense. Westbrook, who is going to stop him, James Harden or Kevin Durant on the Dallas Mavericks team? But he has Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and we'll see how those two guys play out for him. So my strategy was to focus on defense, and speaking of defense here, my on-ball defense, of course, is not looking the best on that possession. I don't know how I slid out the way, and I haven't been playing 2K like that really, and so the on-ball defense is a bit shaky for me, but I'm just trying to get my game back together. So the on-ball defense is not going to be the best. So there's going to be many possessions where I play off-ball, because it's just the best defense for me at that point. So that's the end of the first quarter. The score is 11-11. And my opponent, he is hanging in there. I didn't get off to a great start on the offensive end, but our defense is solid. But my opponent has pretty good defense too, you could say, because the score, of course, is tied at the end of the first quarter. So on the offensive end for us, the main strategy was just to get the ball in KD hand. I mean, no one on that team could really guard Kevin Durant, and I'm speaking to the Dallas Mavericks. No one on that team could really guard him. And so we just have to take advantage of our matchups. And James Harden, this guy couldn't really hit a wide open 3 in the last game, but finally he hits a 3, and he did hit a 3 in the last game, but it was other 3-pointer attempts that he didn't hit, and I thought he could have made, and that definitely would have helped us win the game. But right now we got to focus on this game here and trying to capture this first Tier 1 victory. Even though I'm going up against a Tier 2 opponent, this guy is still pretty good. He gets the offensive rebound. I don't know what happened there, but Willie Cauley-Stein was just able to come right down the lane and get the offensive board and put it back up for 2 points. So my opponent is still in the game. We don't have that big of a lead, and I took out the starters because I seen that he took out his starters as well, and I said, you know what, hey, let me give my guys a bit of rest. But we still have Kevin Durant and James Harden in there, and later on I did end up taking those guys out as well. So 21-16, Jalen Brunson slamming it down with 2 hands, and he's just gonna cut the lead down just a little bit more. So the beginning of that second quarter wasn't too bad. It was actually a pretty good start, but once we took out all of our starters, and again, I took them out because I seen that he took his starters out, and I thought I still would have had the advantage. That second half of the second quarter, as you can say, wasn't too good for us, and we really did struggle on the offensive end to get a basket at least, and he seemed to be doing pretty fine on the other end, on the offensive end for him, of course, with that second unit. So he's probably played with the Dallas Mavericks a lot before, and he wasn't too bad. I mean, if I probably had a Tier 2 team, he most likely would have beat me with a Tier 2 team. And we don't know the outcome of this game yet, because you can see that this game is still pretty close, but I'm pretty confident that no matter what I do, I can still get the victory here. So he's back on offense. Wide open 3. Jalen Brunson again. these are not the defensive mistakes I cannot be making. And when I'm playing the game, I don't know, the game, it feels a little bit like I'm on ice skates whenever I'm on defense and trying to play on ball defense. Maybe that's just me and I just got to get adjusted, but that's kind of how it feels when playing on ball defense now. But nonetheless, we still could lock guys down, and we're trying to do that here in this video. So I did set the defensive settings to have everyone switch on every pick, and this game, it kind of worked, but again, I don't know why all of a sudden it's not working as the way I would like it to be. Maybe because I'm in a higher league and guys know how to work around it, but you know, that's why we have to adjust. So we get the mismatch here, down low in the post, taking our time. I believe that's Nazi Mohammed getting the basket to go over Jalen Brunson. So now we're in the second half. We have our starters in, and this is a great opportunity for us to try and pull away from the game. Kevin Durant to the rim, gets the reverse layup to go. Tough shot. I don't think I would make that with a lot of other players, but that's fine. And one more strategy that I did here, Kendrick Perkins, man, I don't know what is wrong with this guy, but he is just a huge liability on offense. It's the second time in a row where a guy can play off-ball defense. Good shot here by Tim Hardaway Jr. A guy has played off-ball defense on Kendrick Perkins and helped with the defense, so that way I can't really get to the rim with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, or even Kevin Durant. And it's because of Kendrick Perkins' shooting ability. So what I did is that I put Serge Ibaka at the 5, and then I had Nick Collison play the 4, just so that if I run a pick and fade, that forces my opponent to come out and respect Serge Ibaka. So that way I have an open lane to the rim with whoever I call that pick and fade or pick and roll with, whether that be Westbrook, Harden, or even KD, like I said earlier. And if you've been paying attention in this video, my opponent hasn't really played on-ball defense, and I don't blame him. I would have been playing off-ball defense as well. I probably even would have went to a zone because I wasn't shooting that great in this game either. So there go that switch pick and roll, but I kind of messed that one up there. I wasn't really expecting Luka to drive all the way to the rim, and so he caught me lacking. So that's why I usually like to have the computer switch, or I let the computer, you know, handle that scenario between themselves, and they do it a lot more smoother than I can. So this is why my opponent is playing off ball. Nasty poster by Kevin Durant, and he tried to come and help, but it was just way too late, and KD gets the poster over Boban Marjanovic. So our lead is over 10 points. Luka trying to get to the rim, but we're able to stop that. Finally, we play good defense, and Kevin Durant slams it down on the other end, and now KD has his takeover. So we have a bit of momentum here. Kevin Durant in the corner of the court. Let's see what we can get. I'm going to the post with KD, backing down my opponent. I'm feeling confident. Post fade away, Kevin Durant. You know, I don't really pull out shots like that, but when he had to take over and the confidence I had in this game at that point in time, I felt like he was going to hit that regardless. Luka Doncic, so quick on offense. I'm there to contest. Well, Kevin Durant is there to contest, but he still greens the shot. And our defense, it was pretty good. I mean, no complaints from the defense in that third quarter. My opponent was really trying to get to the rim. It's either that or he was trying to get wide open three-pointers. And our defense was pretty good, considering the starters. They don't really have good defense, but that's fine with me. JJ Redick left wide open. Of course, he is going to hit that 3, especially from that spot. He's a pretty good shooter. Westbrook down the other end of the court now, throwing it down with one hand. And this fourth quarter, we just need to go ahead and wrap things up. Kevin Durant to the rim. Nobody is stopping this guy. So 54-39, Luka coming back down the court, and I did put Kevin Durant on Luka Doncic. We're able to make him pick up his dribble, but he gets the ball back, and that's a nice little mid-range that my opponent hit there. You know, you don't really see guys or a lot of people shooting mid-range jump shots, so that's pretty impressive there, especially that he hit that as well. So, but we're able to get back on offense and score again. Kevin Durant, fast break opportunity, left wide open, and he hits a three-pointer. So finally, we're hitting our three-point shots when we're left wide open, and that's a good sign that you want to see. Kevin Durant has his takeover once more. Now we're gonna size up again, and I was feeling pretty confident about this shot too. Deep three-pointer, Kevin Durant hits it off a couple hesitations, pulling up for a deep three. KD is going to hit that, especially when he has his takeover, but Luka Doncic comes back with a deep three of his own. KD left wide open. This time he's tired but still has the takeover and hits another three. So this game has gotten out of hand pretty quickly, especially in the second half, late second half, and early into the fourth quarter. But we're able to pick up another victory, and it wasn't really fair for my opponent, but I guess there aren't many people in the greatest of all time league, so you're going to come against matchups like that, and you just have to hope that you do. So that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.